Good evening, dear brothers and sisters in RIWAY Philippines. A very warm welcome to be in attendance in today's Leadership Training Seminar. I'm James Cheong, General Manager of Philippines. It is very unfortunate that we still must meet each other virtually, but nevertheless, heartwarming and thankful that we are still able to meet each other regardless of the methods we use. And it has been an event that I have been looking forward to ever since its announcement. Over the course of these 2 days, RIWAY will hold a total of 7 different leadership training seminars, and yesterday, 3 different leadership training seminars were held in Singapore, Taiwan, and Indonesia at the same time. Today, we have 4 different training seminars going on concurrently in Malaysia, Japan, Hong Kong, and of course, the Philippines. Many of our leaders are gathered together in event halls within the regulation of different government agencies, and some gathering at home to participate in the training seminars. In total, throughout the course of these 2 days, tens of thousands of leaders are participating in this quarter's leadership training seminar. This time, the title of the training seminar in Philippines is To Excel. And to excel means to be superior to or to surpass in accomplishment or achievement. In other words, to be outstanding. And in Chinese, the title of this training seminar is 强手如云. What this means when translated to English is to describe the number of people who are outstanding. The amount of people who excel are like the countless number of clouds in the sky, a big number. And the number of elites in RIWAY is equivalent to the clouds in the sky. And in RIWAY, there are not only people who excel. The number of people who excel is huge. Just take a look at the recognition nights RIWAY organizes. The number of leaders going on stage to be recognized from just Diamond 1 star is quite a lot. Often we have to split into many groups. But among the many successful leaders in RIWAY, there are a group of leaders who are the elites, our team elites. Just one team elite night, thousands of team elite leaders are in attendance. And within this group, there are the elites of the elites, the strongest amongst the strong, our Team Elite Pegasus and Team Supreme. The big question is, how did they manage to become the strongest among the strong? How do they stand out amongst the elite? This is the reason why we are here, to learn and grow, to be able to understand and find out the secrets behind their success, to emulate their actions and become as successful, if not more successful than them. And for the past few months, I have been anticipating today's training seminar. I am equally as excited as you are. Not only am I the MC today, I will also be the closing speaker for today's event. But I am very honored and humbled to be accompanied by 3 extremely successful leaders. All 3 of them are Team Supreme Pegasus, one of the highest honors in RIWAY International. When I was planning and going through the arrangements and preparations of the training seminar, through my conversation with these 3 leaders, I felt that I have learned so many things, and they have been preparing their utmost best to share everything that has contributed to their success today with every single one of you. Without further ado, allow me to invite the first speaker for today. This speaker is someone most people are unfamiliar with, mainly because he only joined RIWAY less than 2 years ago. But within this short period of time, he has set records in RIWAY Philippines to be one of the fastest growing leaders in the past year, and has most definitely caught the attention of many leaders in RIWAY. He is also the cover page of our latest issue of RIWAY magazine. Here to share with us is Team Supreme Pegasus 3, Rolando Pani.
Thank you, RIWAY. Thank you, James, for this opportunity today. Most of you may not know me. I am Rolando, and I consider myself relatively new to RIWAY. I started my adventure in RIWAY in 2020, right around the time when COVID-19 was declared as a global pandemic. I am a OFW of more than 15 years here in Singapore, which can be considered an iron rice bowl as it has given me a feeling of security, that I can provide the needs of my family. In other words, I am contented, or I say complacent, with the situation that I was in. Working for more than a decade as an OFW gave me an illusion of financial security. I was able to provide more than the basic needs of my family, which resulted me in believing that my profession was the key for my future financial stability. Considering that I have reached the peak of my career, I did not see any further growth. What came as a shock was when reality bites, the illusion of security all the crumples down right in front of my very eyes, when several of my friends and people that I know lost their jobs, not because we are not good in what they did. Well, in fact, they were experts in their own fields, but they were retrenched because of the COVID-19. They had been in the industry for as long as, if not longer than I have. I was thinking that it was just a matter of time. I might be next. It is possible that at any moment, the career that I have been investing my time, hard work, and dedication it over the course of 20 years might be over. Will I wait for it? Is there any other opportunity for my career elsewhere? Now, I am in a dilemma. I spent years and years to hone my craft, but I was really unsure if I could find another jobs amidst the pandemic that could provide me with at least half of my income. The industry that I was in had been affected greatly by the pandemic. No one company is looking even higher now. So I started to have this growing fear in me because I am in a situation that I cannot control. I don't have any control as whether I can retain my job or not. It left me feeling very vulnerable and uncertain about my future. It is the fear and anxiety of losing everything that I have put so much effort and hard work for. And if I lose my job at this moment, how can I continue to provide for my family? I didn't like where I am. Don't get me wrong. I love my job, but I didn't like that I was stuck and confined a single source of income. It is like a farmer who is growing vegetables but has no control over the weather. Every single day, he hopes for sunshine for his crops to grow. But every time he looks up in the sky, it is gloomy, unsure of when the downpour will happen, unable to control what happened next. But if I look at it from a different perspective, if I choose to look at it positively, in fact, it was an eye-opener for me. I need to start taking charge of what I can control. It made me realize that I need to open my eyes for opportunity beyond my profession. I took action and moved. I didn't only move, I did it fast. I had this sense of urgency in me. If an opportunity came along with the impending uncertainty of the future, I did not have the luxury of taking it slow. I didn't have the luxury of taking my time. So I made a choice to open my eyes to see other opportunity beyond my profession. I saw RIWAY. Long story short, how I came to know of RIWAY is of coincidence. I met Jaden Nang on a flight from Philippines to Singapore. Being stuck on the plane with a leader of his caliber for 3 long hours. He had 3 hours to convince me. And the rest is a story. I took action to grab the opportunity and join RIWAY. When I started doing the business, speed was the key because time of the essence. In just 6 months, I achieved Team Elite Pegasus. And short after 3 months, I achieved Team Supreme Pegasus 1. And in another 6 months, here I am as a Team Supreme Pegasus 3. Let me just give you an analogy. This is just hypothetical. Let's just say that you know someone who is wealthy. Based on what you know about this person, he is a generous and decent man. One day, you bump into him in a cafeteria and he just offers you a blank check. Yes, a blank check. He tells you to take it and write any amount you want, and it's yours. Now, my question to you is, number 1, would you take the check? And if your answer is yes, what amount would you write onto the blank check? And why? I will give you a few moments to think before I continue. Alright, there is no right or wrong to any of the answer and reasons. Now, in my own opinion, majority of the people will shy away and will not take the check. There are a lot of reasons why people will not take the check that is being given away unsolicited. Again, there is no right or wrong. If someone will politely decline or gladly take the check, the reason why most of the people will decline taking the check is because majority of them may be skeptical. In today's situation, people are very cautious. Why may think that something is not right? Even if the person knows the gentleman, why would he be giving a blank check? They are afraid of unknown, or perhaps you might think, what will be the catch? People are prone to be declined reward because of the unknown risk. The second reason is that it could be a sham. Perhaps it is another scam. People may think that the blank check is a hoax. Perhaps there's no fun, and you may end up being a victim of swindle or prank. We cannot blame people who has trust issue. Perhaps most of us, if not all, we experience one way or another. It could be happened recently or in the distant past that we're being tricked, backstabbed, or scammed. That's why many are stuck in a trauma. They decide to play safe. Another group of people will decline the check is because they might have a good, high-paying jobs. Someone can be a manager, supervisor of a big company, or own a business. Or maybe they are professional like engineers, programmers, lawyers, or accountants. They decline to take the check because they are financially stable. They feel that they do not want to take the money as they are already making a good money. Why I take the money if you already have? Another portion of people decline the check because they might be afraid of others' opinion. One will ask, what if someone I know, maybe my friends, relatives, or colleagues, find out that I took the check? Will it tarnish my reputation? Or perhaps someone will think I am taking the advantage of the gentleman's generosity, even if the check is being given to me unsolicited. These people are afraid to be judged. They are afraid that people might look down on them. They might be concerned about their reputation of being tarnished, or the way people look at them might be changed. Then, there's a handful of people that will take the check. And out of those group of people, majority of them maybe have financial difficulties, trying to make ends meet. They will put on the exact amount they need, or possibly adding a little more as a buffer, just enough for them to be back on their feet, hoping a better opportunity will come along and wait for the luck to turn around. Now, there's a minute portion of people will take the check and will put the largest amount that they think is possible to sustain his need and wants in life. They do not care if they will be judged or not. However, no matter what you do, you will be judged. If you do well, people will judge you. If you fail, people will also judge you. No matter what, you will be judged by society. People will judge you based on what you wear or what car you drive. No matter what you do, you cannot please everybody. Someone out there will judge you and scrutinize you. This is the fact of life. So with that in mind, that minute portion of folks will take you the check and write whatever amount he wants to sustain his needs and wants. Alright, here is an interesting part. What if I put the name in the story, let's say the rich and generous man is Mr. Lim, and the blank check he's giving you is the opportunity of RIWAY. I believe the numbers will be different because now the opportunity is obvious. It's easy for us to say, grab the opportunity. But reality, the first step, which I believe is tricky. Well, I guess the first step will always be tricky. Is how can we recognize the opportunity in front of us? Today, we can easily be blinded on the opportunity in front of us. That includes me. If not, because of the pandemic, perhaps I will still be one of the millions that earns from a single source of income, of being an OFW. I'm not saying it is wrong. I have nothing against having a single source of income. However, this is the one of many reasons why we are blinded on the opportunity right in front of us. It can be glaring, and yet it is not visible most of us. Unwittingly, opportunity comes past our way. We miss it, and someone will grab it instead of us. Why? Because we fail to recognize it, or better yet, we choose not to see it. The pandemic made me think about my situation, and I decided to make a choice to open my eyes to the opportunities in front of me. I am exactly where I am because of choices I made, which brought me where I am now. I made every choice and decide to open my eyes for the opportunity for me to grab it. Grabbing the opportunity is the easy part, just like accepting the blank check. But writing the amount is the hardest part. This represents how much commitment and hard work you are willing to give. There are moments in life that you cannot just go with the flow. It might sound cliche, but sometimes choosing the less traveled road will lead you to the things that once you only wish for. And those who can't decide for themselves tend to go to where the crowd is heading, thinking it is the safe direction. That is the nature of human beings. Whenever something happens, we will first think negatively. We will first think of the bad things that will happen. Let's give you an example. Let's say right now you are in the meeting and suddenly the staff of the hotel runs towards you and tells you that someone from home called you to look for you. Please go to the phone immediately. At the moment in time, what will you be thinking? Maybe you will be very flustered. Why are they looking for me so urgently? Did anything happen at home? Because the first thing that most people will think of is negative. But then again, must it be a bad thing that they are calling? Maybe they want to call you to congratulate you for attending this leadership training seminar. Maybe they call you to tell you to concentrate at the seminar and fight harder to achieve success. Or that they will look after your home for you. Did you obsessively think about the way that things could go right? Or did you obsessively think about the ways that things could go to the opposite? We think of ways on how we are going to protect ourselves. That is how we feel. In the moment you think, I'm just planning for the worst case scenario. We tend to think all the possible ways that something could go wrong so that we can mitigate and prepare for it, not understanding that we are dwelling, sinking ourselves, and keeping our focus on all the ways that it could be go wrong. Their imagined future, a future of failures. You will go where your thought leads you, but they are not real. Instead of secluding yourself and using your energy and thinking and imagining all the possible things that could go wrong or something falling apart, think about all the things that you could do if you take action. All the numerous ways that things could come to you and work out for the better. Focus on that and take action that you need to be successful. You can do that. It will take huge amount of hard work. It's not going to be easy. You will have to push yourself harder, more than anyone has ever pushed you to. If you don't put the work in today, if you don't do the unending, relentless work of developing yourself into something greater, someone is out there to grab the opportunity out of your hands. It is not okay to make excuses. The world will not slow down so that you can keep up and step out in front. It is not okay to demand for great reward for small work. If you want to do great, you need to become capable of greatness. To become great on what you do, you need to be consistent. Consistent of pushing boundaries, your own boundaries. Success is not one-day event. It is what you must do consistently every day. If some days are tough, you found harder. This, my friend, will lead you to where you want to be. Giving opportunity that is in front of you is not dependent solely on whether you grab it. It also depends on how fast you action. I believe good habits are better than good luck. I remember James once mentioned, be aware of your thoughts because they become your language. What you think about will become what you say. If you think negatively, your words will also negative. Be aware of your language because they become your action. Be aware of your action because they become your habit. Be aware of your habit because it becomes your character. And your character decides your destiny. If you do not like your situation, make a choice. If you want to move fast, start by walking faster every single day. Don't walk slowly. Don't stroll. Act with a sense of urgency. Move with a sense of urgency. If you do not like what you feel, take action. Do something about it. Don't wait for something to happen because nothing will happen if you're grounded at the same spot. If you do not like where you are, move. Some may call it luck, but I call it decision. Some may call it destiny, but I call it choice. Some may call it triumph, but I call it dedication. Some may call it success, but I call it hard work. And now is the time to thrive. Now it's time to move. Now it's time to take action. If you do, then I will see you at the top. I am Team Supreme Pegasus 3, Rolando Panit. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rolando, for your exciting sharing. It is absolutely true. Speed is the key to success. Just like in Olympic sporting events, be it swimming or running, it will never be a competition of who is the slower one. It has always been and always will be an event of speed. The fastest will always triumph. The faster you are, the more successful you are. In the world today, everything is about speed. For example, internet. From 2G to 3G to now 5G. Each one getting faster than the next one. And slowly, the 2G and 3G is replaced, is eliminated. Today, if you want to be successful in RIWAY, you got to ask yourself, do you have the competitive spirit in you? Do you want to win? If you want to win, you will do what it takes to win. To overtake that person in front of you. Someone who is competitive, someone who wants to win, have no time to waste. They have no time to take it easy, and they have no time to find excuses. Once again, thank you, Rolando. All right, on to the next speaker. I always believe that a person's character is being molded and shaped by all the experiences that one has gone through. This leader who is sharing next, I believe why she is so strong-willed is because of the experiences that she has gone through. She is like a diamond. A diamond does not start out polished, but with enough pressure and time, it becomes spectacular. And this leader is one that is not only polished, but one of the shiniest of them all. Here to share with us the topic, Reset to Relearn, let's give a round of applause to invite Team Supreme Pegasus 2, Menchi and Misa.
Thank you to our dearest General Manager, James Chong, for the introduction. Good evening, my RIWAY brothers and sisters. To be here as one of the speakers for our leadership training seminar, as one of the speakers alongside such powerful leaders, Rolando Panet and Rix Bungkalao. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much, boss, Mr. Lim Boon Hong, James Chong, and RIWAY International for this opportunity today. In the beginning, it has never crossed in my mind when I joined RIWAY that I would aim to achieve any higher positions or be a speaker at one of the training seminars. Like many, it was because of the product, which was the reason that I became a member in RIWAY. In 2016, I was diagnosed with breast cancer stage 4. This was a devastating hit to me, and all the different emotions came to me like a tsunami. I went into a state of depression to the point of giving up in life. Every day was a torture to me because it felt like I am a living, dead person. It felt as if I was breathing, but my life was already over. As a result, I was bedridden for 3 long months. It was a torture physically. If I said that it wasn't tough, I would be lying. What was equally affected was my mental state, my mindset. I began to feel like life was unfair, difficult, and full of sufferings. I began to feel fearful of death and what would be left for my children. These thoughts caused me to break down in tears every single day. I have been working in the laboratory as a medical technologist for 25 long years, but I have not been able to save enough money for the future of my children. Mentally, it was extremely tough, and I was negative every second of time, constantly worrying about what would happen to me tomorrow. Would I still wake up tomorrow? Constantly worrying about the future of my children. Will they be able to have a future that I have planned for them? 3 years down the road, as I think back, those suffering were part of my process to prepare me for success. Those pain that I have gone through developed my character and changed my perspective in life. It was a challenge that had to do with my own life and death. If I do not fight, I would not be standing here today speaking to you. If I had given up mentally, all this would not be possible. No matter how tough I describe it to be, you might not be able to grasp the full magnitude of pain and suffering unless you yourself had been through it before. Just imagine if you have a headache that keeps bothering you day and night, how would that feel? What I went through is probably 100 times worse than a simple headache. But it taught me something very important, which is crucial to success. Maybe through this, you might be able to understand much better. You see, success is something very personal. It is different for every single person. To some people, becoming a teacher is success. To others, becoming a priest or a monk is success. To someone else, success is becoming an engineer or a doctor. Or to some, becoming a millionaire is success. But to me, at that point in time, getting up on my feet was success. Recovering and becoming healthy again was success. And that journey towards my goal is a journey of success. In other words, if I start to do things that help me achieve what I set out to achieve, that is already considered success. Most people associate success with achieving a goal. And if they do not achieve it, then they consider it a failure. If that is the case, if failure keeps lingering at the back of my mind, it will be practically impossible to achieve success. As long as we step onto the journey of success, we plan ahead. Not only do we plan, but we also start executing our plans. That is already considered success. It doesn't mean that you must achieve a goal in order to become successful. However, we need to understand that this journey of success will never be a smooth sailing. It will always be full of uphills and downhills. We will come across many thunderstorms and typhoons. Boss always says, never expect a smooth sailing journey. Nothing will ever be a smooth sailing. No industry will ever have no problems. The only time there are no problems is when we stop doing, when we stop moving. Is there any point in life that there will not be any problems? Yes, that is the time we are 6 feet under the ground. That is when there will not be any problems you need to face. As long as we are breathing, we must always prepare ourselves to face it bravely. It is these ups and downs that make achieving what we set out to do more worthwhile, more exciting. It is the thunderstorms and typhoons that we face bravely that make us learn and grow along the way, to give us confidence once we overcome them and provide us answers when we face similar challenges. Don't shun from them. Don't run away from them, because I have learned a lot along the way and made me what I am today. That is why you often hear people describe RIWAY as a school, a learning institute. Every single day, every single event, every single leader has something that we can learn from and better ourselves. We have to always remember, it doesn't matter which phase of RIWAY you are in, whether you are here for 3 months, for 3 years, or 14 years, as long as we continue to empty our cups and learn. Definitely, success isn't far away from every one of us. One of the very first goals that I set out to achieve was my health goal. I am extremely thankful that I am today not only alive, but very much healthy, and I have a life, because I decided at that point in time to start consuming Portier. It was in 2016 when I started taking Portier. Once I started consuming, I have never stopped ever since. However, I did not immediately start doing the business that the day I bought Portier. Like many others, in RIWAY, I too started as a consumer. I was finding many means and ways to buy the product because financially I was broken. Upon understanding the RIWAY Network program, which is our marketing plan, I realized that it is possible, like what most leaders say, to consume the product for free. But today, I am not here to share the marketing plan. I will leave it to your uplines and the people who have brought you to this event. And like many others, including all the top leaders in RIWAY International, like David Yu, Andy Su, just to name a few, I didn't have much of a background in network marketing. We are just like a blank piece of paper, no knowledge on how to do this business. So I had to go through a lot of challenges along the way, just like many of you watching this. But we get to understand that in network marketing, the challenges and problems that often occur are more or less the same. Maybe it got to do with cross-lining, or maybe it has to do with price cutting. The different problems in this industry is more or less the same. After being in this business for 3 years, the problems that I face are no different from what my uplines might have faced before. Which is exactly the reason why we need to empty our cups. You see, RIWAY has been around for 14 years. If I say that it's been a long time, RIWAY has been around, well, not really. If I say that it is a short time that RIWAY has been around, 14 years isn't considered short, right? But we all can agree that these 14 years that RIWAY has been around, most definitely RIWAY and RIWAY leaders have faced countless challenges throughout the years to get them to the size that RIWAY is today. Which also means that it doesn't matter which phase of RIWAY you are in right now, whether you have joined RIWAY 1 month ago or you have been here for 3 years. The phase that you are right now, I guarantee that someone in RIWAY definitely has faced it before. And it is such a fortunate thing for us because we do not have to make the same mistakes they have made to learn something. Instead, we can take the easy way out to learn from their mistakes because they have already paid the price before. It is similar to a situation where someone has already hit their head on the wall very hard and they are bleeding. Then they advise you and tell you, "Hey, do not bang your head on the wall. It is very hard." If they had already advised you, would you go and bang your head against the wall? Of course not. All we have to do is empty our cups. You see, RIWAY has already come to a point where people from all walks of life are joining in. It doesn't matter what age you are. It doesn't matter what your profession is. You are eligible to join RIWAY. And we can see many different professionals starting to join us, from doctors to lawyers, from engineers, or to even someone like me, a medical technologist, from business owners to network marketers. And the first few months of venturing in this business, I met with many different problems. I had conflicts with my business partners, my top leaders. I get angry easily. I complain every time when circumstances are not in my favor. And I am not willing to follow all the advices from my uplines or even the new distributor's orientation. All because I was not willing to listen. I still had the attitude that I used to possess before I joined RIWAY. My mindset was just to come here and earn money and use my own means and ways to earn money. I had to pay a huge price to earn these valuable lessons when I actually could have learned it the easy way. Many different people will think that if you want to succeed in RIWAY, it is the same as outside. Or some business owners that I have worked with, they are so successful in traditional business, but they think that RIWAY is similar to their own business. But the sad truth is that I have seen people use similar methods that contributed to their success outside RIWAY, but still fail using the same methods. Reason is simple. It is only because in network marketing, it is entirely the different business model. And in RIWAY, the way that we do things, the events that we hold, the culture that RIWAY has, and the education that RIWAY provides is something that I can call our own. And it is evident that once I started to empty my cup, once I started to unlearn all of the things that I have learned before and relearn exactly how to succeed in RIWAY, is the time that I truly see difference in my group. When we change, the world changes with us. If we change to become a more hardworking person, definitely we will improve our income. When we become someone who is more sociable, more courteous to others, our social circle will expand and people will like to be around us. When we become more filial to our parents, to our children, our family will become closer and more loving as well. Similarly, when our mindset changes, our journey will become more meaningful and more fruitful as well. So, if you want to become successful in RIWAY, change your mindset, empty your cups. I remember when I attended the leadership training seminar in Thailand, way back November 2019, when I heard boss shared that he emptied his bank account because it was the Chinese New Year period. The tradition of the Chinese is to give red packets during this period. So boss decided to give half to his father and half to his mother as a red packet for the Chinese New Year. I could not understand the rationale of why he did it because I have always thought that since it is hard-earned money, why give it all out and not keep anything for himself? It got me thinking, if it was me, that would not be what I would have done. I would have kept at least a portion for it, for myself. But boss did explain the rationale behind his actions. He said that to the Chinese, it is like a beginning to a new year, a new start. Looking back on every year, RIWAY was making continuous progress, expanding and become even bigger after each year. But boss did not want to let himself feel like he has already made it. He does not want to fall into the mental state where he feels that it is already comfortable. There are so many people who depend on RIWAY to make income. There are so many families that he feels he is responsible for. So he can never allow himself to feel like enough is enough, or even fall into the state where he feels like he doesn't have to put in as much effort as before. I cannot imagine what would be the state of RIWAY if he would have thought that way. So he decided to take such an extreme action to empty his bank account, and his goal was simple: fill that account up again. In order to fill it up, he cannot stop. He cannot stop fighting. He cannot stop moving. It hit me very hard because maybe I was way too comfortable in the spot that I was in. I was already a team elite pavo that time for almost a year. It constantly acted as a reminder at the back of my mind, pushing me on, motivating me. I realized that in RIWAY, we can be even more successful than what we have imagined. We can achieve greater goals more than what we have set out to achieve. If we do not limit ourselves, as long as we do not limit what we can achieve. This doesn't not only apply to our financial goals, but it applies greatly to our personal growth as well. Before I start fighting for a certain position, I will always condition myself to finish the fight no matter what happens. With this mindset, I will jump over all the challenges of today. But the vision of tomorrow is clearly etched into my mind. I know what I want to achieve at the end of the day, and I will never let my old attitude and my mindset to hinder me from success. Surely, we can achieve a certain position or even attain a certain level of income in RIWAY today. But it is very, very easy to revert back to our old selves and our old attitude once we do not feel the need to grow or once we start limiting ourselves. I call it chamba. Don't stop dreaming big. We come to RIWAY to achieve big things. And if you are not prepared to achieve greater success, then RIWAY is not suitable for you. But if you dare to dream, if you dare to set goals constantly, to achieve success here in RIWAY is not impossible. It is not far away. Even though I am Team Supreme Pegasus 2, I feel like I have not even started yet. But I am very thankful to be able to have a team that has the same mindset as I do. I am thankful to be in a company that does not limit our growth, but always remind us to think bigger. I am thankful for the business development of RIWAY International that never fails to fight alongside us to accelerate and grow. And I am very thankful that we have a general manager, James Chong, that never fails to provide me with sound advice, giving us countless opportunities and helping us leaders in the Philippines to motivate us and guide us. I have no more doubts that RIWAY can provide all the need to become successful. I have fought for my life once, and again, I will fight for it because I am 100% committed to serve my family and to my extended family, my team in RIWAY, with a heart full of love and courage. And because of them, I feel big. I feel like there is nothing that is limiting me. Therefore, I can achieve even bigger and greater things. I want to take this opportunity to commit to myself and to the whole of RIWAY Philippines. We have only 3 months left for 2021. These last 3 months, we still have time to fight. We still have time to achieve what we have set for ourselves. I also want to challenge myself and the leaders of RIWAY Philippines to set a goal for ourselves to achieve before this year ends. I will take the first step to commit myself. I will achieve Team Supreme Pegasus 4 at the end of this year. I hope this will be able to give you the confidence to set your goals as well and spearhead Philippines on the international level. Thank you and good evening.
Someone who has been through all that might not be able to handle all the different forms of stress and pressure. One might not even be able to be motivated enough to do something about it. But Menchie really proved things otherwise. After hearing her sharing, I believe what you are going through can never be tougher than what she has gone through. And if she can go through the toughest of challenges, no other challenges will pose a problem to her. It really made me feel very fortunate and let the problems that I'm facing become smaller than I think they are. It taught me one thing, to see what I have and not look at what I don't have. To appreciate things that I have, not things that I don't possess. Learn how to value and cherish these things that we have by making the fullest use of them. At least I have 2 hands, I can fight. At least I have my 2 legs, I can run faster, I can move faster. So thank you, Menchie, for your sharing. Moving on, our next speaker is one of the pioneers of RIWAY Philippines. He is one of the first leaders in Davao City, and his group today can be considered one of the biggest in the Philippines and growing. And I believe most leaders are very familiar with him. Throughout these years, I have seen how this leader grow from where he has joined RIWAY to achieving his dreams that he set out to hit from the start. Now living in a big house, driving a nice car, becoming an example for many leaders and a model that people would want to work towards and accomplish. Let us welcome Team Supreme Pegasus 1 Ring, Rex Bukalao.
Good evening, everyone. I am Rex Bukalao, Team Supreme Pegasus 1 Ring. Tonight, I feel very honored to be invited as one of the speakers for our leadership training seminar. First and foremost, I would like to thank our Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Lim, for this opportunity given to me, and to our RIWAY Philippines General Manager, James Chong, as well. I have not thought that I will have this chance because RIWAY chooses the speakers for this leadership training seminar. It is usually be the top leaders. I know I'm still far from the top. You might be wondering why I'm saying this, as I am currently the top 5 of RIWAY Philippines. But as you have seen how drastically the ranking have changed over these few months. Some leaders managed to squeeze into the top 10, which means to say that there are leaders that have been overtaking in this period of time. When I say this period of times, it's not just these few months, but during this pandemic. Yes, it has been almost 2 years since this outbreak, and you can say that it is already the new normal. However, even though we should have gotten used to this affecting our lives, adjusting to these changes, learned new ways or methods to do RIWAY, sad to say that there are still many people very much affected by this. They have stopped moving forward because of this. Honestly speaking, at the start of this pandemic, I am affected too. Not just work-wise, but emotions too. I believe this would be what many others, or would rather the whole world, is going through. Being locked down, thinking that it will pass quickly, weeks after weeks, months after months, no matter how tough a person emotionally or mentally, he will still be affected by this pandemic. This is our basic need as humans. We need to have the connection with other people. It is normal for a person to be affected because of this, as we are deprived of meeting and connecting with others. There's a saying like this: no man is an island. So if a person is alone for too long, he might become insane. The most important thing is not how we are feeling right now, but how fast can we turn these negative emotions into a strength or positive energy to help us move forward. Many people, despite facing the same situation, are able to turn these negative energies into positive energies to push them forward and achieve great feats. That is why, whether a person can achieve success, it is not based on his physical appearance, regardless of his height, weight, or how he looks. It doesn't even matter at all. Or whether if he is talented or have a big network. The most important factors are that affects his chance of achieving success are his mindset, his attitude, his beliefs, and most importantly of all, his emotions. I will not be touching on mindset, attitude, and beliefs because I'm sure you have heard this from the previous two speakers. So I will be sharing more in depth about emotions because this could help us achieve success. For this to work, we've got to understand it. If we don't, then it will be harming us instead of helping. A very good example of this would be the application Zoom. Now, all the leaders around the world are using this as a platform to hold meetings. Most leaders know how to use Zoom, but how many really know how to handle a Zoom meeting? The standard of the Zoom meeting, is it high or low? Is it arranged properly or casually? If a leader does not know how to use Zoom properly, then it will not help him or her to close a deal. In fact, if the client have a bad impression on the leader, thus harming her rapport. Today, if we want to be able to close a deal, it is not entirely dependent on our closing speech. There are many factors that we need to be aware. Yes, the company have a wonderful platform. We have an amazing product. But that is not a guarantee that people will buy from us. If we set up a Zoom to meet the client, but we don't switch on the camera to converse, do you think the client will buy from you? If we switch on the camera, but we wore casual clothes, do you think the client will be convinced that this is a high-end product? I'm not saying that you are not doing well in Zoom, but this is an example I think most leaders can relate because emotions is also a weapon for us we can use to succeed. If we did not handle it well, it will be harming us instead. Therefore, we got to learn how to control our emotions. Yes, we can learn it, which means that we can practice and harness its power. When we're able to do that, success would be one step closer, especially in the industry that we are in. No matter which industry, to be successful, it is impossible to achieve it alone. Everyone will need a team of people to achieve it together. Furthermore, this industry that we are in, multi-level marketing, is an industry that involves a lot of people. It is paramount that we need to be able to cooperate well with other people. So, a person's EQ must be high to be able to cooperate well with others. As different people have different mindset, different attitude towards things, that is why the more we need to be able to control our emotions. If we are not able to control our emotions and got angry at our downlines, what will happen? You might have said something harsh or even scolded him out of impulse. How would he feel? He will feel down or even angry. When he went home angry and saw his mom, the first thing that his mom say, "Son, go prepare for dinner. Dinner is almost ready." And he immediately replied, "No!" and went straight into his room and slammed the door. How will the mother feel? Definitely pissed off, right? And the mother will be thinking that she has been doing household chores for the whole day, already feeling so tired, still need to cook dinner for the family, and ended up with the son not feel grateful, but throw his temper at her. This time, the father came home and he asked his wife, "So what's for dinner?" And the wife, feeling pissed, will reply angrily, "Eat, eat, eat. You only know how to eat." And how will the husband feel? Ashamed? No. He will be angry as well. He will come home, first thing, quarrel with his wife. So to avoid quarreling, he went to the youngest son's bedroom and checked him. When he opened the door, he found out that his son is playing with his toys instead of studying. And he immediately reprimanded his son. So the son felt like angry because he's only playing with toys just for a short break from studying. So he went out of the house and saw a cat in the balcony, and immediately he kicked off the cat off the balcony. If I just went to that person's house and kicked the cat, the story would have ended at me. Nothing bad would happen to others. The main point of this story is not about who kicked the cat, but what I want to bring up is this. It will become a bad cycle if we do not know how to control our emotions. So we should stop this cycle by ending it with us. It is very important to know how to control our emotions. If we are not feeling good and we said something bad on impulse, it will become a bad cycle. So everything bad should stop at me. The cycle should stop at me. We should not affect others with our emotions. In RIWAY, we learn to accept because our boss has mentioned this many times before. For a person to grow stronger, to become a better leader, they must learn how to swallow those unhappiness, anger, bad emotions. When you are feeling aggrieved, swallow it down. It is okay. Yes, it might have hurt a lot or even very hard to do it, but pain is good. When you feel pain, it means that you are growing. Just like when you're trying to train with weights. When you weightlift a 5 kilogram for 50 times, your arms will feel very hurt. But it indicates that your muscles are growing. And this is very good. The second day you continue to do, the third day you do, and so on, continue to do. After many days, you will eventually not feel any more pain when doing weightlifting with a 5 kilogram. If you want your muscles to grow more, then you need to use a heavier weight, like 10 kilograms and so on. Likewise, for us to be emotionally strong, we need to train ourselves in this aspect too, because this is one of the important factors for us to succeed. So we got to be able to accept and swallow those bad emotions. Slowly but surely, one day, you will have no feeling when you are facing with the same problem and overcome it. Throughout the years in RIWAY, I have seen many leaders, met many people. When I see a leader faced with a setback and felt dejected, it got me reminiscing. I felt like he was just like me in the past. When I said a setback, it does not only mean that it is a rejection, but it might have been just a question a customer asked, and you did not know how to answer. But to him, it was a huge setback, and he could not take it already. Today, if we want to succeed, first, we need to be tough. We should not be beaten down by setbacks or problems. This couldn't stop so many leaders that are still progressing and growing in RIWAY. Then it should not be able to stop us also. I remember James shared this before. There are two kinds of cats in this world. First is the wild ones, and the next is the Persian cats. Persian cats are those that humans take care of. Some even need to powder bath. Some feed their cats with much expensive, much healthier food compared to what we eat, right? Now, those cats are loved, are held dearly, and well taken care of. But what about the wild cat? If they want to eat, they need to go find food themselves. They need to go to the rubbish and find food. They might even have a fight with other wildcats to be able to have food. Today, if we put those two cats on the street to survive, who do you think will be able to survive? The wildcat. Why? Because the wildcat are doing these things every day. But on the other hand, the Persian cat, when you put it on the street, if it wants to find food from the rubbish and got fight for it, he might not survive a bite from another wildcat. So James said, we've got to be like wildcats. We've got to be tough, got to be able to face many difficulties so that we can succeed. Because the journey of success will never be smooth sailing one. It will be full of challenges, setbacks, problems, and rejections. Today, if all the top leaders in RIWAY strip off their clothes, you will witness in them the scars that they have. Not physically, but those emotional and mental scars. They have gone through many unimaginable problems, challenges, and difficulties. If you feel that what you're going through is tough, then think about what the big leaders went through. They have faced way harsher, way worse rejection compared to us, and yet they're still here. It means that it can be overcome if we know how to control our emotions. Boss have said this before, which hit me very badly. Today, how big of a success you can achieve does not depend on how grandiose those things that you do, but rather whether you can withstand setbacks that other people can't. Today, you want to do better than other people. It is not about how big the thing that you can do, but how much more setbacks can you withstand compared to others. So if we want to be able to be at the top, we need to be able to face more setbacks than others. We need to be brave to face even look for these problems. Don't run away. When we face many setbacks, difficulties, and problems, we will grow stronger. First time, it will be very painful. Second time, a little lesser. Subsequently, you will feel no pain. You will become tough. You will grow. You will become like a wildcat. In this industry, this is a must for us to succeed. You might ask why. The main reason is that because this industry has always been very negative. When you say MLM, people usually associate the negative stuff in this industry. So if we are not like wildcats, when you go outside the market and face with these negatives, you will not survive. Because 10 out of 10 people outside will not have a good impression in this industry. Don't talk about others. I believe that there are many leaders who are negative about this industry before joining RIWAY, right? It is because they don't understand before joining RIWAY. After they join, they slowly become more passionate about it. You can see or feel from these RIWAY leaders. If you get the chance to talk with them, you can feel how much they love this company. They will even protect this company if you try to say something bad about it. Because the more they do, the more they understand about RIWAY and this industry. Indeed, if you understand more about RIWAY, you will find out that RIWAY is not always about benefits. As I have seen from so many leaders, they are very loyal to RIWAY. It is not because RIWAY give them more bonus, but the bonds, they have forged with this company throughout the years. This is one of the feeling or emotion that we can utilize on our team. Let me ask you a question. Who will you want to be cooperate with? A person who always talk about benefits or a person that value loyalty? I believe most people will choose the latter. Today, if we are a loyal person, then we will attract the same people into our team. Some might question this. When it comes to business, loyalty should not be prioritized over interest because we might be taken advantage. If we choose to look at the bright side of this, we will see that when a person is loyal, he will help unconditionally. He can forgive unconditionally or even sacrifice himself for the team. Like I mentioned earlier, when a group of people come together, surely there will be friction between two people occasionally. This is not about who is right or wrong. The most important is that we are moving up together. If you argue with them and you are right, you won the argument, you might lose a leader or a customer. We did not win the situation after all. That is why it doesn't matter who is right or who is wrong. The only thing that matters is that we are moving forwards and moving forwards to our goals together. Be the bigger person and take the first step. Apologize and move forward. If the team's relationship is based on interest, can you imagine how brittle the bond of the team is? When there is friction, everything will just crumble. If there are better benefits outside, they will just leave. Look at RIWAY. Can you see many leaders, management staff? They are very loyal. Even if there are bigger and better benefits outside, they will not leave. This is one of the important foundations that RIWAY was built on, which is exactly what I want for my team as well. A solid, loyal foundation to duplicate how RIWAY is able to build the team to become like RIWAY. There is another foundation that I saw in RIWAY, and that is gratefulness. During the Leaders Recognition Night, you can hear those leaders sharing on stage that they are thanking boss, the CMT, and the GM. They are very grateful of the help they have received. They will not forget how the things people have done for them to help them push up to that height. I have not seen any leaders that said that they achieved all this because of their own efforts. By being this kind of environment and culture, I learned to be grateful in everything. If a person knows how to be grateful, everything he sees will be good. He will be grateful. He still has income in this pandemic because of RIWAY. He will be more actively trying to help others to know RIWAY during this crisis. Being grateful will help you look at the good side of things, and we will not be so negative. Today, no matter what the situation are in, if we choose to look at the brighter side, it will not only make us more positive, but it will help us overcome it faster. When we look at the brighter side, you will be motivated. If we can add this feeling, which is to feel hot, then there will be no problem we can't overcome. For us to succeed, we need to feel hot, fired up. Everyone must be fired up. But the question is, how long will this fire burn? Some people are very impatient. They get bored easily. Some lose the fire immediately after they face some setbacks and problems. The biggest challenge is, how long can you maintain this fire within you? We need to control of this. Don't allow yourself to cool down so fast. When we attend meetings or events, choose to be hit. There are many things in the meeting that can hit us if we choose to be hit. Some can be sitting arrangements. Some can be because of what is being shared on stage. Similarly, today's leadership training seminar, up to this point, there should be many things that can hit us if we choose to be hit. Because when we choose to be hit, we can shorten the fuse. Some people's fuse are very, very, very long. Some are very, very short. They can explode immediately because we need to be fired for us to achieve our goals faster. If not, we'll be stopped easily. Have you ever wondered some of your friends are doing better than you? Living in a bigger house, earning more, driving a better car, living healthier, have more friends than you? How did they achieve this? I always believe it is not because their luck is better than mine. It is because they are doing more, sacrificing more, doing better, more serious, doing 100%, more fired up compared to me. I will never allow myself to say that because they are luckier. Only one reason. They are doing way more than me. Way more fired up. That's all. So that is why I always remind myself, do what successful people do. In RIWAY, there are many examples for us to follow and learn. Just follow RIWAY's footsteps and we will reach the height we never could have imagined before. These are only some of the qualities I see in RIWAY's culture, as well as the big leaders possess. Just imitate them. That is the fastest way. You know, it is funny when I know I'll be sharing this, because I know I am not qualified to share this. There are many leaders listening to this leadership training seminar right now who are much older than me, much wiser than me, who have much more life experiences than me, who have done much better than me in RIWAY. I'm not here to teach you how to become a better person, but I'm sharing this to remind myself that I want to become a better person like this. This is what our boss always shared, that he is trying to become one too. Hence, it forms us as this culture in RIWAY. With this, I am very thankful to James for giving me this chance to be sharing today. I hope everyone can take control of your feelings. Empower yourself to reach new heights. Thank you.
Thank you for your sharing, Rex. Lao Tzu once said, knowing others is intelligence, but knowing yourself is true wisdom. Mastering others is strength, but mastering yourself is true power. What is this trying to tell us? To understand and know yourself is more important than knowing others. Knowing what you want, knowing who you want to become. What kind of leader do you want to be? What kind of person do you want to be? Who you become in the next 5 years, next 10 years, will determine solely on whether you know yourself. Where you are now, where do you want to be? From my understanding to this quote, and in my own opinion, everything must start from you. Your success depends not on your upline or your downline. It does not depend on anyone else but you. When we point fingers at someone, one finger is pointing at others, but at least 3 fingers are pointing back at us. Don't blame others or complain about the situation that you are in. Look at ourselves and what we can change, because that is when we truly grow. Thank you, Rex, for your reminder and sharing. Alright, it is now down to the last speaker for the day, and it is none other than myself. if you are still here from the start all the way until now, definitely there is more than enough content I've already learned and gained from the sharing of these three speakers. But today, if I do not share, then it will not be complete. Why is that so? Maybe I can take some time to explain to you. In fact, this entire leadership training seminar is designed according to what makes a man. Today, you want to excel and be great not only in RIWAY, but in life as well. We need to know how to become a better leader, a better person. It is true what Menchie said, when you change, the world changes with you. But to understand how to become a better leader, we need to understand how to be a man, how to be human. A human being is made up of 4 different realms, and these 4 different realms are what make up a man. The outermost realm is the physical realm, something you can see and you can touch. Whether you are tall or short, whether you are a man or a woman, whether you are skinny or you are fat, these have to do with your physical realm, which was shared by Rolando. The next inner realm is your mental realm. It has got to do with your thinking, which was shared by Menchie. It is something that cannot be seen or touched. What you are thinking about, whether it is good or bad, I cannot see. There are certain people on the outside, they look very prim and proper, but on the inside, they are not very good-hearted. Is it possible? On the other hand, have you seen some people, they dress like a beggar, but on the inside, they are very compassionate and very kind. Have you seen these kind of people? Let me give you another example. Have you seen some people on the outside, they look like lions, but on the inside, they are like a mouse? Thankfully, in RIWAY, not only do our leaders look good physically, mentally, they are strong like wildcats and have the spirits of lion inside of them. Alright, the inner next realm is the emotional realm. It has got to do with your feelings. Whether you are happy or sad, angry or disappointed. Are you positive about the future, or do you feel very gloomy about the future? All of this has to do with your emotional realm, which was shared by Rex. And the innermost realm is the spiritual realm. It has to do with what you believe in. Whether something is right or is it wrong. Of course, many will associate this with religion. But what I am sharing has nothing to do with religion. What religion you believe in is your own right and your own decision. What I am going to touch on in the spiritual realm is something that has got to do with what is right and what is wrong. What we should do and what we shouldn't do. This has got to do with a person's conscience. There are some people on the outside, they look like a normal human being, yet they can do things to harm their own family members. My question is, do you think this person has a conscience? Not really. There are certain kind of people who resort to outrageous acts to attain monetary benefits, even if it means they must do whatever it takes to get what they want. If that's the case, there won't be many people who will want to have anything to do with us. Let's take, for example, our boss. He is one of the best examples that we can follow. When we look at boss, wherever he travels, wherever he goes, he does not need a big group of bodyguards to watch out for him. He goes everywhere alone, whenever he wants, because he does not do anything unethical and does not need to worry. He can sleep well at night with no needs to worry someone might come up to his house at night and look for him because his conscience is clear. On the contrary, you can see that there are certain kind of people who might need protection or have a lot of bodyguards to follow them around when they travel because they are afraid someone might find trouble with them because they have done things in an unethical manner, always looking over their shoulders every step of the way, even unable to sleep at night. In actual fact, this is exactly why RIWAY is called RIWAY. It is to remind us to always do things the right way, to always make the right decisions. Only then we can have a long and smooth journey towards success in RIWAY. For us to attain long-term success, let me ask you a question. If you plant a mango seed, a durian will grow out. Am I right? If you say yes, means you are not listening intently. If you plant a mango seed, for sure a mango will grow out. A durian tree will never appear if you plant mango seeds. There's a saying that goes like this. You reap what you sow. Good will be rewarded with good, and evil with evil. If the reward is not forthcoming, it is because the time has not arrived yet. And when the time arrives, one will get all the recompense he deserves. Remember, if you do good, for sure good will come. If it hasn't come yet, don't worry. Continue to put in effort. Continue to put in hard work. For sure, the time will come and you will eventually reap what you sow. Of course, there are many more factors that contribute to a group's success. And the topic of today's leadership training seminar is to excel. We have already heard the sharing of the three speakers before me, sharing their secrets to being able to excel. And for sure, we will have a lot to learn since they are considered to have made it in RIWAY. But we got to take a closer look. How are they able to grow so exponentially in such a short period of time? Of course, we want to know the secrets behind having the attitude and mindset of success. But I want to take this opportunity to share a few important senses that will be able to cultivate a much better environment and retain more leaders. Why am I talking about retention? Because what RIWAY is most focused on is retention. From the staffs all the way to the distributors. It's not how good you are at finding people, but rather it is important whether you are able to retain the people you have found. I personally find that extremely important. Imagine being able to find and sponsor 1,000 people, but yet you are unable to retain even a single one. Would that be good? Of course, we want to be able to sponsor people and at the same time be able to retain people. And when I talk about important senses, I'm not talking about the sense of smell, the sense of sight, or the sense of touch. What I'm talking about is something to do with human beings, the psychology of human beings. And this has got to do very closely to this Maslow's hierarchy of needs. One of the most basic needs for a human being is to have air, food, water, warmth, sleep, so on and so forth. This is the first need that each and every human being will have to fulfill before moving on to the next level. If they are not able to fulfill the basic needs, do you think they will worry about security? Of course not. Imagine someone who is unable to even put food on the table. Do you think they will worry about security? That is why we can see there are people who are willing to risk their lives, to work at very high-risk places. They are very dangerous, just to be able to get income to fulfill their most basic needs. Similarly, it has got to do with someone you sponsor who is coming to join RIWAY. Whether or not this person will stay in RIWAY, one of the very first things that will be able to make them stay is, are they making money? If they do not have any income, most likely they will go out there and look for something else to make money. In fact, this is one of the reasons why RIWAY can sustain and grow to what it is today. Boss mentioned before, if the payout of the company is not attractive enough, who will want to stay? So sometimes you will hear some leaders mention the payout of RIWAY. Some will say 65%, some 70%, some 75%. There will be people who say, this business cannot do. If you are the boss and need to give out 75%, better don't do this business. How can it be true? In RIWAY, it is that extreme. Don't have to ask me if it is true or not. Just look at the leaders in RIWAY, whether they believe the payout is 75%. Look at the cars in RIWAY International. Look at the houses these leaders are staying in. It is more than just explaining to convince you. Maybe you might say only those who are the pioneers are earning the most. Those who come in later have no chance. But if you take a closer look at the leaders in Philippines, the top 10 did not join in RIWAY 10, 14 years ago. Look at Faith. She has joined RIWAY not more than 6 years ago. Another example is one of the speakers here today, Rolando. He joined RIWAY not more than 2 years ago, but today, he is one of the top 5 in the Philippines. Which means to say that if today you just came across RIWAY, your chance to be in their places 2 to 3 years from now is highly possible. So once you can fulfill the most basic of needs, one of the very important senses that I want to share with you is the sense of security. Do you feel secure in this place? Do you feel a sense of security in the company? or the group you are in? Do you think RIWAY will close down in the next 2 to 3 years? If yes, would you feel secure here? Thank goodness, our boss is not even in his 50s yet. He has a long road ahead of him. And the kind of fighting spirit he possesses, the limitation of his vision for RIWAY is always expanding. This gives each and every leader in RIWAY to have that confidence and that sense of security to fight in RIWAY. Am I right? The feeling that we have towards RIWAY is the sense of security. That is why we feel that it is worth fighting together with. Not only that, if we look at the actions of RIWAY, does it show any signs of slowing down? No! That is where our sense of security in RIWAY comes about. Similarly, the people you sponsor, those in your group, will look at you. They will also think, does my leader give me that sense of security? They will look at a leader who have long-term goals and plans, and not one who is in it for the short-term gains. If you are here for the short-term gains, naturally the leaders who follow you will also have the same mindset as you. In time to come, the team will collapse. You would have missed out on this opportunity to long-term success. Alright, the next sense that is equally important is the sense of belonging. Actually, I will consider RIWAY to be like a family. Since each and every one of us wear the RIWAY pin, we are all RIWAY people. And a family can be a person, or a place, or an environment, as long as it gives us that feeling of comfort, where we can seek advice, love, and encouragement from. Let's say, if you come across a challenge that leaves you feeling down, you will eventually return home. When you see your family, they tell you it's okay, let's try again, let's fight again. They encourage you and give you another reason to stand up again. Even if you have made money or attained certain success, you will also return home and your family will celebrate with you. Sometimes will even tell you, do not feel comfortable, continue to fight because we can do even better. Now this place called home, or this family that I am talking about, is an environment. An environment that lets one feel safe, lets one feel comfortable be around, and feel like going back to, no matter how easy or difficult the day was. This is something that money can't buy. In fact, you can see some people who have made decent income in some industry and yet don't enjoy themselves there. They don't feel happy in the environment and eventually find someplace else because it doesn't mean that they earn money, they are happy and they will want to stay. A person's need to feel that sense of belonging to a group or environment or some place that they feel they can call home. Let me give you an example. It is just like attending a leaders recognition night. No matter how tough the months before was, each and every time you attend the event, you can feel a huge surge of encouragement and positivity. Just like meeting your family after a tough battle. Or another example will be weekly meetings held, like our leaders meeting or staff meetings. Whenever you go to such events, it is like going home to a family, always there no matter what. Rex did mention earlier, don't let the relationship be built on incentives or money. It will be so shallow, just like a thin piece of paper, easily torn and broken with a single drop of water, unable to withstand even the slightest of challenges. On to the next one, the sense of accomplishment. But not just as simple as achieving a goal. It is what comes with achieving that goal. It could be in the form of recognition or prestige. Upon certain achievement, it is the recognition and respect that most will want when they reach this level. In RIWAY, we have the Leaders Recognition Night, Team Elite Night, Pegasus Night, Top Leaders Meeting, just to name a few. And it is human nature to feel that need to be appreciated for their efforts. And I am most certain the way RIWAY value these leaders, the way RIWAY appreciates these leaders is of the utmost importance. RIWAY has never allowed the standard to be compromised when it comes to appreciation and recognition of our leaders. It has to always be maintained at the highest standards. And these standards are what Boss has mentioned before. The way leaders in RIWAY are recognized is exactly how Boss would want to be recognized if he is a distributor. it will be nothing less than how you imagine it to be. And last but not least, it is the sense of belief. This has got to do with what you believe in. And belief is trusting and believing in something that you have yet to see or touch. Something you have not seen before or have not come across personally. But you believe and trust in it 100%. That is faith. Now, if you are able to have that little bit more of faith, as big as a sesame seed, you will find that just that little bit more of faith, you can move mountains. With that little bit more faith, you will find yourself achieving greater heights and greater goals. But a lot of people lack that little belief and faith in themselves. In RIWAY, we can have the best of everything, the best product, the best plan. But if you lack that little bit of confidence in yourself, it can all amount to nothing. Believe that in the next 3 years, in the next 5 years, you can be who you want to be. You can drive the car you imagine yourself to drive. You can live in the houses bigger than what the leaders are staying in now. It is not asking for 30 years or 50 years of your time. My dear brothers and sisters, it is 3 to 5 years. I'm not standing here merely putting a random number. These 3 leaders accompanying me today through this training seminar, they are where they are in 3 to 5 years. Some even less than that. And this is just to name a few. There are thousands of examples in RIWAY to prove my point today. Ultimately, if you are able to duplicate and follow what RIWAY has achieved today and cultivate that in your group, you might just become as big as RIWAY today. But don't expect it to be a fast and easy journey. Nothing worthwhile is ever attained easily. It takes time. It takes effort, one step at a time, one goal at a time. As long as you are moving in the right direction, forward is forward. And eventually, the success that you will achieve is complete in all different aspects, just like how RIWAY 6 core values to achieve absolute success in every aspect in life. This training seminar truly has given many of us a deep insight to achieving success. But knowing is not enough. It is acting on it that will bring about the biggest results. At this juncture and at this point in time, the pandemic is slowly turning into what many consider an endemic. But no matter what, life still has to go on. We got to be aware and accept this. It's been almost 2 years of waiting. Now is the best time to act. Now is the best time to restart. Now is the best time to excel. With this, I conclude today's leadership training seminar. A very big thank you to all the speakers today for their arduous preparation and unconditional sharing. And not forgetting a big thank you for sitting throughout this training seminar and be able to learn so much from today's seminar just as I have. Ultimately, be able to contribute to greater success to each and every leader in the RIWAY Philippines. I wish everyone good health and good fortune. Thank you very much.